Hello and welcome to the TESPA playoff qualifiers here for UNT and UTD. I am your host, Crispy, otherwise known as Karsten Stadler.
And I'm Alos, and today UNT is going to be able to have another chance to qualify for, what is it again?
The TESPA playoffs.
TESPA playoffs, yeah.
Alright, and it will be UNT versus UTD here on Lijiang Tower for the first map. And we will see Executor on the Hanzo, Fierce Surge on the Junkrat, River Lucky on the Pharah, and we have a pause coming out, probably just due to some slight technical difficulties. We will most likely be back here in a moment. I wouldn't think that a pause would be going on for a bit too long. But right now, we are going to shift right over, and we will just wait until we are going back, and we'll be back here in 3, 2, 1, and we're back. All right. So, going back through these picks, we have Fierce Surge on the Widowmaker, River Lucky on the Pharah, McDonnell's on the Hammond, Joe on the Lucio, and Captain Carlos on the Tracer, so it looks like a quad DPS coming out from UNT. What do you think they're going to be doing with that?
So quad DPS on Lijiang Tower, we're going to be looking for them to try to just snowball into this fight without having ults early on here in the first fight. This is going to be an easy way for them to try to show their aggression here on the first cap.
I definitely agree with that, yeah. Quad DPS is usually used to instigate a lot of fights, get those first picks. And
River Lucky getting those early damage onto Toxic, and the rest of the team looks like they're going to be able to... Oh, and he's going to get picked off right away, and UNT is going to be getting the pick from onto UTD's Brig.
Alright, and McNeil's also getting the pick onto Toxic, so it's going to be a slight pick for pick here. But looks like UNT is retreating just a little bit. They're not having many people contesting the point right now, which can be... definitely a good decision because they're down a couple people, especially with that Pharah being down. That Pharah is just such a critical part to this quad DPS, getting those hits on the Reinhardt shield especially. And then we have Joe resing Executor on the Hanzo. Nice res there. Hanzo can also be used to break down the shield with his scatter thing.
Captain Carlos trying to come around the back, trying to get some early picks onto Toxic. That's going to be one healer down for UTD. River Lucky getting the barrage off, and that's going to be UNT taking the point for the first time this map.
Absolutely, yeah. Getting that Mei out of the way and not having that Mei wall blocking a lot of damage was definitely a good pick from UNT, and then just finishing up, getting those healers, getting the rest of their down. And it looks like UTD is coming out with a typical 2-2-2 comp. So that can... Oh, I'm sorry. It's a Goats with a Widow substitute for the Diva. So that can definitely lead to some interesting picks here.
Oh, Captain Carlos getting 2 picks early on in the fight. UTD's going to have to back out after that one. Not much they could do there.
Yeah, definitely a very nice pulse-bomb execution coming out from Captain Carlos there. When you're able to get 2 picks with the pulse-bomb, since it is such a... it doesn't take a lot to get that ult up, it can be very useful for... getting those picks, but seeing 2 picks with that, easy team fight ender.
Yeah, Fierce Surge being able to create a lot of room there on the Widowmaker. That's allowing UNT to keep their positioning right now.
Absolutely, yeah. And it looks like they're just going to be stalking UTD coming out
UNT
of the
from all angles. McDaniel's on the hammer, going to drop in. Using his ultimate, that's going to create a lot of room for UNT as well.
Alright, and we see Executor getting rezzed there. Definitely a good res to have. He's very good on that Hanzo, getting those picks that they need.
UTD's Loon being able to use the Zarya to clean up a lot of the DPS there. UNT's going to have to back out. But they're up on the percentage, so we're going to be able to see them regroup here and try again.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to need to regroup there. I'm not sure why McDonnell's would go in there without much support. Maybe to just get a bit more time since... it's pretty equal respawn advantage at this point. Just maybe give them a bit more time and then they'll regroup there. They might see a team comp switch here. Yeah, looks like they're switching over to a Goats comp.
Yeah, so we are going to see McDaniel switching to the Reinhardt. I guess that explains his behavior there on the Hammond. Choosing to go top right here, UNT.
Absolutely, yeah. And getting that switch off as quick as you can do it is always good, and then if you can stall, makes it even better. So Goats comp is going to come in here, they're going to roll onto the point fairly fast and get that damage moving.
UNT pushing in here. McDaniel's a little out of position, able to be healed up by his healers.
And grabs coming out on the side of UTD, that'll catch a good bit of UNT in there, and that'll be a almost full team kill on the side of UNT.
It is going to be a team kill. They're going to have to get back to point fairly quickly for their last fight.
They definitely will, yeah. I think to group up like that with the changed comp that late, it can either work in their favor by getting them the point back, but it can also use up a bit of time, and it looks like they're going to need to charge onto the point very fast here.
The Shatter getting a few there, but McDaniel's choosing to fall off of the map with UTD's Lucio.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the right decision, but he made it, and getting that support pick is definitely good, but it looks like they will not be able to stay on the point in that first round. Will go towards UTD here on Lijiang Tower. So what do you think UNT can improve on as they're going into the second point here?
Well, they started off on the quad DPS, and that seemed to work for quite a while. But once UTD came out and was able to stop that snowball from happening, UNT switch over to Ryan didn't have enough time till they could get the ults out. So they really couldn't make use of what that composition is really good at, and that's the combination and synergy that they have using their ultimates.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It looks like they're pulling out that same quad DPS comp that they had before, and having the Hammond that can swing around on the center point there can definitely be good. So just having that quad DPS can be very good, especially with the open map. And as we get in here, it looks like River Lucky will be falling a bit low, but healed up by Joe on the Mercy. Looks like it's going to be a game of who can get the first pick here. Looks like UTD is running a Pharmacy as well with a Winston dive. Looks like a similar quad DPS.
UNT able to get all the different angles here on UTD. That's going to allow River Lucky to just stand on top of UTD and rain down from above, and that's going to give UNT the first point.
Yeah, that'll definitely be the first point for them. It looks like Fox did get rezzed there as they weren't able to kill the Mercy quite fast enough, but their UNT is going to be able to get those picks very fast. Something that they weren't able to do on the first point, but it looks like they have their synergy back and they're able to get those picks.
Yeah, let's see here what UTD is going to choose to answer with. Looks like they're going to switch to the Genji and run a very traditional dive composition.
Yeah, dive definitely can work against this double sniper.
Oh, but the damage coming up from River Lucky just is too much for Foxbox to stay up. UTD coming around and getting a few picks onto some of the DPS for UNT.
Just a couple there, yeah, and Joe's rezzing Executor there, and River Lucky able to take down Toxic on the Lucio on the side of UTD. So, looks like that res is going to come in a lot of clutch now.
The barrage from River Lucky to clean up here. Definitely a one fight from UNT, but they've got enough to work with.
Definitely a good decision, because you don't know what ults they have at this point. So if you can finish the fight now and keep farming that ult percentage for yourself, even though you have used an ult, you can keep it up for the other people.
Making sure that they do not get that
finishing
extra
the
ult percentage.
Yeah.
Captain Carlos here coming up on his ult as well. That's gonna be huge for UNT to be able to keep this point here.
Absolutely, yeah. It looks like UTD is coming around the back, so it's going to be a bit of an interesting choice considering dive doesn't thrive well in that small space.
UTD's Mercy choosing to come in immediately with the Winston. That's going to give them enough positioning to put up with River Lucky, but Executor's Dragon Strike is going to drop their Genji.
Yeah, it looks like their Genji got rezzed a bit there, and Fierce Surge going down as well, but it looks like it's going to be pick for pick here. Who's just going to be able to get that first pick off? And it looks like Joe fell. Both Mercies are down, so it's really a lot of pick for pick.
Dorito able to take down River Lucky, and that might be UTD getting this second point here on Lijiang.
I think it will be, but UNT was able to get up to 88%, so they have a very good hold now. And if they're able to recap the point, that might be a nail in the coffin for UTD.
Farah is a lot better when you're keeping a position instead of trying to take one. So we'll see if River Lucky is able to keep the Farah here. If so, it looks like his damage is a very big factor here in this matchup.
I think it definitely will be. If he can maybe peek in through some of those windows and the doorways that we see there, I think that'll be very critical for him to get his ult up and then maybe fly in there, get in the top without being noticed too much, and then raining down from above.
Yeah, that happens to be the one thing about quad DPS that UNT is able to do without is the support ults besides the Mercy ult, of course. You don't have that Lucio sound barrier, you don't have the Zenyatta trans to protect yourself in tough situations.
Yeah, having that lack of healing there can definitely be a lot.
Loon getting the first pick here against Captain Carlos, but it's going to be UNT answering back with the res and 2 picks of their own. River Lucky trying to look for the barrage here against the Winston. He's going to find it, and that's going to be UNT cleaning up this point. And it's going to be a tough fight for UTD to try to get back in here.
It definitely will be, yeah. UNT able to get those, the pick on the Mercy was especially good. Since they have no healing left, there's nowhere for them to go, and they have nowhere to back up to.
That stall on Loon actually might help UTD have a little bit more time to get back here on the point. That's going to be their Foxbox, I believe, on the Tracer, getting Fierce Surge early on. UNT getting 2 picks, and that might be enough to close it out here.
It might be. It just depends on how UTD is staggering at this point and who is able to get on the point. Looks like we have Genji, D.Va, and Mercy on there. So they have a good bit of healing there, and the D.Va is able to get the far as we see there.
D.Va is able to push the far, and McDaniels is coming back with a pick of his own. Let's see here if we can try to get a res, and it doesn't look like it's going to be able to come off.
All right, it looks like UNT's going to have to retreat just a little bit there, but they do have a bit of an advantage there in that they are at 99%. So once they take the point, it is going into overtime immediately. So if they're able to get a complete team kill, they will be able to take this point.
Yeah, Joe's steady positioning is one of the reasons why UNT is able to keep this up. The solo healer is not known for being able to pump out the healing, but UNT able to do it fantastic.
Absolutely, yeah. Joe popping his ult there in response to the Genji ult not wanting to get taken down, especially this late in the game.
TPPC getting 3 picks off of UNT, and that is going to be very difficult for UNT to come back from.
It definitely will be. It looks like McDaniels is going to have to stall just a little bit here, maybe swinging around the point just to get that time. Although it looks like UNT is able to get a decent bit of percentage going on the point here.
River Lucky getting a pick early on in the fight. That's going to be UTD's Mercy falling.
Yeah, it looks like both Mercies are down, and I do believe that UTD does have a Lucio in play somewhere, so we'll have to see if he will be on the point or if he is coming back.
Oh, UNT able to cap once more, 99-99 game, and that's going to be UNT tying it up here in the series so far.
All right, yeah, great execution on both sides there, and UNT was just able to get those couple critical picks that they needed there. Taking down the Mercy was especially such a big healing output, and that was able to really let them get those last couple picks that they needed there. So it'll be the third point here on Lijiang Tower, 1-1, UNT versus UTD.
UTD's dive being able to put up quite a bit of a fight against UNT, but at the end of it, the quad DPS was able to come out on top.
Absolutely, yeah, and it looks like UNT is running a little bit of a modified GOATS comp here. It looks like they have a Mei substituting in for the D.Va. That should be very interesting since this map here, there are a couple different choke points that you can roll off with Mei to trap your enemies. So that'll be interesting to see how they use that. Yeah,
Captain Carlos choosing the main heal for this point. Looks like they're going to be able to put up a fight against their dive if they come out with it. They do not, though. UTD looks like they're going to come out with something very similar.
Yeah, it looks like it might be the same thing. We'll have to check here in a moment, but I...
Absolutely. Foxbox coming up with the Mei as well, and they are running a Mei Goats as well. UNT is going to have to back up just a bit, reset, and stabilize. We'll see if we can come back in here.
Yeah, it's going to be a mirror matchup here, and I think what it's going to come down to is who's able to pick the Mei first.
Yeah, this Mei matchup is going to be what UTD is fairly good at. Foxbox is a terrific Mei, so we'll be able to see how that matchup happens.
Yeah, Foxbox is on the Mei there. I wanted to double check there. I didn't see that quite enough. But yeah, Foxbox is definitely a good Mei, and it has been a bit of a thorn in the side of UNT before.
The wall coming up from Foxbox, able to take out McDaniels and 2 others on UNT. That's going to be them retreating. Quite a few ults coming up, though.
Definitely, yeah. Ults are going to be coming out here. But it's just going to be who uses them and who uses them well enough to really get this point taken back.
Yeah, even though UNT has a few ults online, we can assume UTD is going to have quite a few more just by how much damage they're being able to put out so far.
I would expect a Mei ult to be coming out fairly soon just because of the icicles that Mei's shooting out there. They're able to get healed fairly quickly, but that doesn't negate the fact that Mei's doing a lot of damage.
The wall coming out a little early from Foxbox. That's going to allow UNT to come in here. The ult's coming out from UTD. That's going to be Mei ult, trance, and ground.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they needed to pop the trains there since UNT was just sitting there right for the picking, kind of like fish in the barrel there. So that might be a factor in whether or not UNT decides to push or where they decide to push since they don't have trains up right now.
Yeah, that might be in the favor of UNT ult economy there. UTD on 70% though. UNT is going to have to get on the point fairly quickly if they want to stay in on this map.
Yeah, they are definitely going to have to go in.
The grab coming out from UNT. And Mei is able to... River Lucky getting a pick onto Toxic early on, and that's going to be 2 picks for UNT.
Yeah, it's going to be, if they can get the Rhine down real quick, and which they are able to do, although Joe is going down as well, so that's going to be a bit of healing loss.
River Lucky's bubble onto McDaniels was what saved him from that pin there, and that's what keeps UNT in this fight now. River Lucky pumping out the damage onto UTD, but UTD able to get it to 99%.
Yeah, UNT is going to be able to take that back, and River Lucky Zarya, extremely high charge, and hopefully he'll be able to keep that up for UNT. I think that's going to be a very key point of melting the Mei very fast. If he's able to keep that up around 80-90%, I think that'll be a good sign for UNT, able to hold off a bit of the damage from the Mei, and also just take her down, because once she gets out of the icicle, she doesn't have a lot of defensive abilities, and if you're able to melt her very quickly, that's going to be a good thing.
Again, another early wall from Foxrocks. That's going to make sure that UNT can get in there without the fear of that. Once again, McDaniels getting 2 kills with this Fire Strike, and Joe cleaning up the rest.
Yeah, that was a very good Mei wall coming out from, I believe, Executor on the Mei, yes. Walling them off so they couldn't move. They were a bit divided, and then at that point, Ryan is just able to go in with the Fire Strike, start swinging his hammer, and he will be able to get those picks very fast.
River Lucky now getting his Graviton here, and with the wall coming up, they might have an opportunity to use it. They might not even have to, though. Captain Carlos getting an early pick on that Zenyatta. That's huge for UNT.
Absolutely, yeah. That'll push UTD back in there, and UNT is at 60% control on the point. So UTD is going to have to start pushing up a bit harder here. They're not going to have as much time as they would want. And UNT is going to have a good bit of ults online right now.
Almost 6. UTD popping theirs a little bit early. McDaniels falls, and UTD is able to clean up UNT.
Yeah, that's going to be a very hard reset on the side of UNT. They're going to have to come out
with
onto the
99%. I don't think it's going to be possible for UNT to come back.
I don't think so, but we will just have to see. McDaniels is fairly ahead, but he gets stunned by the Brig, and he will not be able to get back onto the point. That will be round 1 going in favor of UTD 2-1 on Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, so we saw some good stuff after UNT able to capitalize on UTD's lack of ult control on that one push, which allowed them to get the point and put up quite a bit of a fight on here on this 3rd point. But it was just UTD's excellent ult usage here on this play you can see right now, and that's what was able to win them back the point and get that one last fight when we needed.
Yeah, I think that barrage of ults there at the end really solidified the victory for UTD. There's no real way you can combat 3 to 4 ults, especially with the Mei, Graviton, just such a barrage of ults there, and there was really no way for them to counter that. And then getting back onto the point is just such a difficult battle when you're getting picked like that. So
yeah, because UTD was able to hold on to the point up to 99%, that got them the ability to know that they needed one team fight, and so conserving their ults, making sure that they had one good fight was really important for them to finish up that point there.
Yeah, I really think it was. Ult usage is going to be a big factor going into the next map, whatever it'll be, for both sides. And it looks like we will be going over to Hollywood, which is a bit of a hybrid map right now. So that'll be interesting to see what type of comps we will see. We might see a bit of a quad DPS just because there is more room in the sky. Maybe we'll see a bit more Pharah. There's a bit more high ground, see some sniper. It'll be interesting to see what comes out.
Yeah, I can imagine either team running a variation of goats on the attack, possibly even. We've seen UTD come out with the goats with Hammond, even a Winston goats. So some variation of that we could possibly see as well.
Yeah, I could see Winston goats working fairly effectively just because you can get a lot of air with the Winston. There's a lot of open space up there. So dive goats, or just a straight dive, actually could work here on Hollywood. But it is yet to be seen, and it looks like we will have, I do believe, UTD attacking first, yes. So we will have to wait here just for a second, not able to move around. So what do you think we will see? Do you think we'll see a lot of goats? That seem to work okay for both teams.
I can imagine so for the first attack, but after you get the payload rolling, it's kind of hard to run goats with all this open space here in the second point. So we'll probably see possibly a quad DPS coming out as well, or possibly a Mei. I don't know how they would utilize that on second point, but UTD does. Foxrocks is very good on that Mei.
Yeah, Foxrocks is very good on the Mei. It'll be interesting to see if they do utilize that somehow. I would think it would work a bit better since you can wall that off a bit better on defense, but you can also do the same thing on attack, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
So UNT does choose to go with the quad DPS here. A little bit, McDaniels is actually going to be on the Hammond. I think that's actually what they ran on the first map as well.
Yes.
So,
sticking to what they have been fairly successful with so far. It looks like they have been trying to switch up their team comp a little bit just to try to keep UTD flexing, but it looks like their quad DPS has been the strongest thing that they have so far.
Yeah, so Captain Carlos on the Sombra, I'd expect him to make quite an impact here on this matchup. That Sombra is going to be, her utility is going to be very good if they end up running the Mei or some variation of Goats.
Absolutely, yeah. If you can get that hack on the Mei really quickly, that will be a very, very good way to shut down any Mei comp.
You can see UNT taking many different angles here, making sure they can understand exactly where they are. McDaniel's finding the first hit.
It looks like UTD is running a bit of a pharmacy. They might also be running a quad DPS comp here, although I'm not sure.
Looks like they're going to run a dive as well.
2-2-2 dive.
Just as the last time, PPC is not able to keep up for McDaniel's firing on him. The dive coming in from UTD, and that's going to be McDaniel's cleaning that up. But they are going to get the first pick, and the DPS is just going to stay on the point and keep getting percentage for UTD.
Yeah, it looks like UNT was pushed off the point just a little bit there, and that was able to let UTD was able to capitalize on that and get those first 2 ticks now. So it'll be interesting to see how UNT responds to this, since they will have to come out very fast to keep UTD from
UNT choosing to drop the Mercy ult to hold the point here a little bit longer. It looks like it might be paying off. UNT's quad DPS is very good, being able to take the different angles, but it does leave them open to UTD's dive, but UNT able to stabilize, and UTD not being able to get the second take, but almost there.
Almost there. Yeah, I think one of the definite advantages of this 4 DPS comp is you're able to get a lot of angles, but as you said, you're not able to focus on a control point like this. And if you're taking a lot of different angles, you don't have as many people contesting that point, and that leaves a lot of people able to get onto the point.
UTD has sights up. Executor dropping his Hanzo ult. Fierce Siege does drop a little bit early to the Winston.
Yeah, that's going to be something UNT's going to have to worry about, just because they are running dive against a quad DPS with 2 snipers. It'll be interesting to see if they choose to switch or if they stay on it.
Yeah, their positioning has to be very careful here, and they are going to have to get picks, and Executor understands that, but he's going to get picked by Fox Rocks, and that's going to be UTD taking this first point.
Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be, UTD is going to be able to take this point here. UNT is going to have to set up a bit past the gate here, and it's interesting to see Primal Rage coming out on the side of UTD. I wouldn't think they would use that ult since they were up so far.
Yeah, UTD is trying to zone with that, but I don't think it was absolutely necessary. Far a little bit overextended for this first push.
Yeah.
That's going to be an uneven fight, and both Fars down for each team. McDaniel's going in, and the EMP coming out from UNT as well. Captain Carlos getting almost everybody in that. UTD is going to have to back off from that.
Yeah, diving in with that Hammond, I was a little bit worried, but since that EMP came out, I didn't notice Sombra in the backline there, and apparently now that at UTD, they were able to get a very good EMP going out there.
Oh, McDaniel's dropping in, trying to get Executor a little bit of zoning so his ult can do a little more damage. UNT getting a pick onto Dorito.
Yeah, it looks like it, and McDaniels is just going to keep swinging in there with a lot of damage. He can get a good bit of damage in with his guns and then his pile drive move. So it'll be interesting to see if he keeps that up. He's been able to hold off UTD's push fairly well along with the help of his team, so I like what he's doing there.
Kind of some scrappy fights going on here. People dropping one at a time. Not a very organized team fight coming out from either team. UTD is able to pick up Joe. That's going to be a huge pick, being their only healer so far.
Yeah, that's going to be a very big pick, and it looks like UNT's going to retreat because they will have no healing. There's no point in feeding ult at this point. Going to try to protect.
McDaniels tries to save Fruber Lucky there, but it looks like they are going to have to reset.
Yeah, that's going to be a fairly hard reset there. It'll be interesting to see if UNT switches to something that can have a bit more healing, or if they stick with this 4 DPS comp.
Thank you.
Looks like they will stay with it, although it looks like they're going on to a Tracer now.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup. It doesn't look like UTD knows how to utilize dive against this quad DPS, but it also doesn't look like UNT is able to stabilize with quad DPS as well. So
Yeah.
I think that might be one of the reasons why we're getting such a scrappy fight right now.
Yeah, it's very scrappy. There has not been a very solid team
The res
fight
coming
yet.
up from Joe, but it doesn't look like that's going to be enough for UNT to stabilize again. McDaniel's trying to stall a little bit longer, just get that clock running down so they have a little bit less time here on this third point.
Yeah, that was probably the first actual team fight we've seen so far. Although Dragon Strike coming out on the side of UNT, I'm not sure why they would use that at that point. But
yeah,
oh, it looks like they're switching. So
yeah, it looks like
using the
Executor
ult,
might
that
be
doesn't
switching
hurt.
here.
Yeah, it looks like Executor is switching there. So he was just trying to get his ult off and then die, which makes sense. Looks like he'll be switching over to a D.Va to fulfill this typical Goats comp.
Okay, so both teams running Goats now. Looks like we're going back to the basics. Reset their footing. I think try to tighten things up later a little bit from both teams.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this mirror match works out. It's going to be a lot of who gets the first pick and who gets the pick on the Reinhardt first off.
McDaniel's able to get his shield up in time for UNTD's D.Va Bomb. Dropping quite a bit there. They're going to pick up Joe. And McDaniel's trying to get a little bit of ult percentage, but that payload is coming in fast here at the very end. It doesn't. They're going to have a very hard time holding on this last point.
Yeah, it's going to be a very rough time for UNT. I don't know if they'll be able to get. They should be able to get back onto the point there, but just a matter of getting grouped up at this point. They do have a bit of time to spare, but not too much. And Captain Carlos is going to throw out his orb, and UNT is going to dive onto the point here.
One more fight here coming out from UNT. McDaniel's using the Earth Shatter, not getting much with it though. UNT able to UTD backing off just a tad, giving UNT a little bit of room.
Looks like that Reinhardt was just a bit out of
Dorito's
position
going to
there.
fall extremely early. That's Ryan down, and in Goats, that is a huge pick. Transcendence coming out from UTD, and might be enough for them to stabilize, but UNT is looking very strong here on their Goats so far.
They are, yeah, that Ryan was just slightly out of position. They were able to melt his shield a lot. And even you see, he was not out of position by a lot. It looks like he was just trying to get one more swing in there to cap off his ult charge. But UNT was able to punish that very effectively.
McDaniel's shield's getting very low there almost the entire fight, but he was able to keep it up and keep the utility there for his team, and that is one of the deciding factors there in that team fight.
Absolutely, yeah. He was able to use his shield very effectively. I was surprised that he was able to keep it up for as long as he did and keep using it like that. So hopefully he'll be able to keep up that very nice shield.
UTD coming in here. McDaniel's knows he's gonna have the ult, or Dorito is gonna have his ult here. So it's gonna be a fight of the shatters here. McDaniel's dropping his, but it doesn't look like he's gonna find much. But Doctor's gonna fall, and there is the shatter threat neutralized.
Absolutely, yeah. They're still going to have that shatter for the next push, but McDaniels is going to hopefully be able to block it now that his shield is backed up, and now they only have 1 minute left to...
Yeah, UNT having enough ults here to where they can hold a little bit further up so that they can make sure that when he does shatter, it doesn't happen super close to the payload. McDaniel's getting caught out up front with that grab. D.Va Bomb coming out from UTD as well.
He's not catching anybody. But...
there's the shatter coming out from UTD, but Transcendence immediately coming out from UNT. River Lucky is able to be at very high energy. Executor getting 2 picks with his D.Va Bomb. That's huge for UNT.
Yeah, and saw that Ryan out of position there, and they were able to get that pick. So it looks like UNT is going to fend them off for the last 30 seconds. I don't know if UTD will be able to get back onto the point right now.
Yeah, it's going to be very close. UNT has had an excellent hold so far after switching here to Goats. I think this Goats matchup might be in the favor for UNT. UTD might have to adjust here on this next map.
They might have to, yeah. It looks like UNT is definitely winning this mirror match. And it looks like we will see this going into overtime, and it's just going to come down to who gets that first pick at this point. No picks coming out so far. Good sustains coming out from both sides.
Yeah, getting into overtime, very huge here for UNT. That means that if they make it to the end, they're in a win-draw situation,
yes.
which would be excellent for them. No picks coming out here yet. It looks like both teams are trying to get their ults up. They wasted a lot of them last fight, both teams.
Yeah,
McDaniel's falling early for UNT. The Transcendence coming up, and that's going to save Dorito. So then Ryan does not fall, but Foxbox's grab getting caught by Executor.
Yeah, eating that grab is very critical, because grab is just such a powerful ult, especially this late in the game. You can get a very easy team kill with it, and eating it, very nice.
The shatter coming out from UTD, and that's going to help them clean up UNT a little bit. Oh, but the shatter from McDaniel's getting almost the entire team. Getting a cleave here and there. Captain Carlos getting a pick. Is it enough, though? McDaniel's falls to the D.Va Bomb. That might be UTD taking hit here on this third point.
That might be, yeah. It looks like he was able... McDaniels was booped by UTD's Lucio, and that was why they were able to...
Executor's able to hold enough for his team to get back. River Lucky coming back in, getting his energy high up, trying to farm a little bit off the D.Va, but it's not going to be enough for him to stay up. Transcendence coming out for UTD, but McDaniels is able to stall just a tad longer. Even though it's in overtime, this is a very impressive feat for UNT.
Absolutely, holding that long on overtime is very impressive, and coming out with a Tracer pick just to get on the point faster.
One last pick there for Fierce.
Absolutely, so that'll be a full push for UTD, and UNT will have to match that in order to force it to go into an overtime situation, and it'll just depend on who is able to get there first. If UNT also pushes it into overtime, that'll be just I believe 1 minute for each.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what both teams come out here on this first point. Goats seem to be what both teams were stabilizing on, and before that, we were having some very scrappy play. I would expect possibly a May coming out from UTD here on the defense. UNT is going to have to work around that. What do you think would be good to stabilize against that?
I think with a May, you're going to have to run some sort of counter May comp or something that works around a counter May. So maybe having a Sombra or McCree. McCree's able to stun her so she can't heal, and you can focus her if you can call it out quickly enough. It is a difficulty of getting her stunned in the first place, since she'll most likely be playing behind the Rhyme Shield. But if you are able to get that, that'll be effective. And then hacking her so she can't heal is also a big part of that. Yeah,
Captain Carlos on the Sombra, that's going to be an interesting matchup to see him against the Fox Rocks on May, if that's what UTD ends up running. It does look like UNT is going to be running a quad DPS with Lucio as their main healer. So even less than the Mercy healing that we saw earlier on Lijiang.
It is, but it is also group healing, so it'll be interesting to see if they run a bit more grouped up quad DPS, maybe having the sniper sit together with the Lucio.
Yeah, having a little bit of tighter play here would definitely benefit the UNT.
And being able to speed boost on the point too, that'll be a good asset. Oh, and we have Lucio and Mercy coming out.
Lucio and Mercy, yeah. So UNT switching Joe onto Mercy instead of Lucio. So
okay.
Still solo healing, but
he is on the Mercy now, so that far will be able to get healing. Looks like UTD is playing looks like a quad DPS. Oh no, it's a dive 222.
Yeah, so UTD choosing to run dive again on the first point here on the defense this time. Fox Rocks on the Sombra. So we are going to see him and Captain Carlos on the mirror matchup. UNT getting a few picks here, and Mercy getting the res. That's going to be UNT possibly getting it here on this first point. Loon dropping as well. Lucio not going to be able to contest for that much longer.
Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be Sombra who's going to be left here.
Executor cleaning up nicely there. Fierce Surge getting the final pick onto the Mercy. UNT is going to have excellent time here on this first point.
They definitely will. That is a good bit of time, and that's even more than UTD had. And UTD had a fairly quick capture on the first point there. So it'll be interesting to see if UNT can keep up this momentum, or if UNT is going to be able to halt it.
Doesn't look like UTD's adjusted here too much for the quad DPS. It looks like they're staying with the dive, which is what they use against quad DPS, but not working very well on the first attack here on Hollywood.
It didn't work too well, you are correct. Although they are able to get the pick on Captain Carlos. So
Captain Carlos on the Tracer did fall now. Winston getting fairly low here for UTD. McDaniel's trying to make something happen, jumping in there to disrupt UTD. Executor falling on UNT's side. That's going to be one DPS down, but don't worry, they've got 3 more. He's coming back up, got res by Joe. They're going to stabilize for now. It looks more like a soft engage here for right now.
Looks like a very soft engage.
Oh, the hack and the D.Va Bomb coming out from UTD. 2 falling on the side of UNT.
Yeah. Using that EMP, especially in combination with the D.Va Bomb, that reduces a lot of the mobility that any hero has.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a fairly good combo, though, to be using so early into this team fight. UNT not engaging even yet.
Yeah, so it's a bit weird to see that coming out, and UNT does have that respawn advantage that is, they're just super close to the cart now, so I don't see why they would use that ult right now. I would wait for them to push it and have more people on the cart, but...
Winston using his jump to engage. That's going to be McDaniels recognizing and trying to be a little aggressive on him. Captain Carlos falling early. McDaniels going to have to step out after diving in there. Defensive ult coming out from UTD. Lucio's going to drop his. Also Dorito as well. UNT's trying to hold on to their ults. River Lucky did pop his. We might see a switch coming off of the far here. No, there it is.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be switching over to a Goats comp if memory serves.
Yeah, so UNT switching it up here, trying to get...
I'm guessing he'll be switching over here in a moment. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So UNT is going to be running a dive composition, or I'm sorry, a goats composition onto UTD's dive here. It's going to be so they can get a little bit closer. Sombra getting the hack onto McDaniels. That's going to stop UNT in their tracks. The Genji Blade coming out as well from UTD. Doesn't look like it's getting much value. Fierce dropping from UNT, but 2 picks coming out for against UTD. So looks like they are going to be able to move the payload a little bit further here.
Yeah, and it looks like UTD is a bit split up. They are able to get a bit of the side damage on the Reinhardt, but in the end, they're too split up in order to get a number of solid healing, so it looks like they're going to fall there. That'll be an almost team kill.
Not sure what happened there on the side of UTD. They did get split after using all those ults. I think they expected to get a little more value out of some of the things that they used there and engage a little bit harder, but it didn't look like everybody was totally on page with where they were advancing.
Yeah, we had Sombra in that room on the right, and then moving around to the front, and then we had D.Va up top. It didn't look like they were
very scrappy
up at all.
McDaniel's halfway to his ult. I believe Dorito's going to have his as well. I can't remember the last time it came out.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time it came out either. I think that's one of the ones that they didn't use, although they used pretty much everything else. And the EMP combined with the D.Va Bomb, Ryan Shield is not able to
That's going to pick up 3 for UTD. Loon able to get the EMP and the D.Va Bomb off, and that combo is going to clean up UNT. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That combo is so strong to be using it where they used it last time. Much better execution there from UTD so far.
Absolutely. Yeah, getting that Ryan Shield down is critical when you want to use that D.Va Bomb, and then EMP is just, it's instantly down. If you can time that correctly, which UTD was so good at doing there.
Great use of bubble there from River Lucky, just showing the mechanical skill he has, being able to take off that incoming damage, saving the bubble also for his run. A good play so far. Grab coming out from River Lucky. That's almost all of UTD. So many people down from that. River Lucky just showing off his skill here. Loon's going to drop from that as well, and that's going to be UNT cleaning up the fight.
Absolutely. I do believe Executor did use his D.Va Bomb in there, and it didn't get a kill, but I think having that space clearing that you get with the D.Va Bomb combined with the grab is definitely effective, and that'll be UNT able to push it with roughly a minute remaining.
Yeah, and still a lot of ults here on the side of UNT.
Absolutely.
So very good ult economy and ult usage so far on this point.
They're not too antsy about using their ults. It's very good. They want to be able to save them for when they need them, like this Transcendence here.
Joe trying to make some space while Executor pops his ult. Excuse me, that's going to be Captain Carlos popping his Transcendence there. And the Shatter coming out from McDaniels. That's going to allow UNT to get a few picks. Loon going back to the point, trying to stall out a bit.
Yeah, I'm surprised UNT wasn't pushing that. But they had a lot of space there. I don't think they realized that they weren't pushing the cart there. I thought
Loon did manage to split up UNT just a little bit. Again, such scrappy play here on this beginning of third point.
Absolutely.
Everyone being positioning very, very questionable.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are going to have to retreat just a little bit. UNT retreating back a little bit behind the cart, and then UTD just retreating in general back to the final point there.
Yeah, so regroup here from both teams. Let's see what we can able to do. UNT pops their ult, and that's going to be the D.Va Bomb coming out for that as well. Zarya is going to fall for that. Foxrocks did get hit by the Executor, and McDaniels gets it on his counterpart. The D.Va Bomb coming out for UTD. Is it going to find anything? No. UNT is able to stabilize. Captain Carlos showing amazing mechanical skill in the Zenyatta, able to find his counterpart Toxic.
Yeah, and it looks like UNT will be able to push on here. They did not have the Sombra to utilize the D.Va Bomb as well on the side of UTD. So the D.Va Bomb was, I don't want to say wasted, but it didn't get any kills.
Yeah, the grab coming out on the side of UTD. Captain Carlos choosing not to use the Transcendence to save his team there. They did not need it. And UNT is cleaning up very nicely. The Transcendence coming out for UTD, but it doesn't. I don't think it's going to be enough for them to stabilize. Captain Carlos popping his ult at the very last second there. Toxic not able to get the pick onto him. Grab coming out from River Lucky, and that's going to be UNT cleaning up the rest of the fight.
Yeah, that was very good ult usage on the side of Captain Carlos. He did not use it early. He waited until he just needed it, and that was absolutely perfect timing.
Yeah, holding it there was so important. Once UTD came out of their Transcendence, they were not prepared with the amount of ult economy that UNT had saved up just from just good discipline.
Yeah, I really think that ult economy is going to be what makes or breaks this game. UNT's obviously got a good hold on their ult economy right now.
So I misspoke on the first one. It looks like UTD is going to get a minute extra to attack here. So it's going to be a minute for UTD to attack and a minute 50 for UNT. UNT showing a little bit more. They got it a little bit faster than UTD, but these first points were being picked up fairly quickly. So I expect a fairly long match here at the end.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. It'll just depend on what comps come out. I would expect a bit more of a defensive-oriented comp coming out from UNT here, just because you are only staying on the point here. So it looks like Goats is going to be setting up here. It looks like I would guess they would set up either on the high ground there and then drop down onto the point, or just set up on the point itself.
Yeah, you are correct. It looks like they're choosing not to start off on the quad DPS like they have so far on this map.
Yeah, I think that's a fairly good decision. They need something that has a lot of sustain to it because they only have this 1 minute. If they can sustain through that 1 minute, they will be just fine.
Right, and I believe they think that UTD is also going to be coming out on the dive that they were using to counter their quad DPS. So we'll see what they're able to do, and hopefully we can see them stabilize here at the end.
Yeah, it looks like they're opting to hide in the stairway here, trying to lure UTD out onto the point using up that time that they only have so much of. And if they're able to get a solid team kill here, that might be the end of it. It'll just be a lot of who will be able to get the first pick and who's going to be able to win this fight.
Yeah, we'll see. UTD taking their time here, and they might be switching up their composition. Hard to tell from our perspective here, but they are taking their time. So they probably did scout UNT and decide to switch on to something else.
Yeah, they only have one push here, so it looks like a mirror Goats.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to go for the same thing. TPVC dropping extremely early. Captain Carlos again with the first pick here for UNT. And those Discord orbs just doing wonders for the damage of UNT, trapping them into the corner and cleaning up very nicely.
Yeah, Captain Carlos is definitely an excellent Zenyatta. And his Discord orbs, I'm sure he's calling them out over in that room over there.
So much damage.
Looks like that's going to be it. UTD will not be able to get back onto the point there, and that will be round 3. UTD not getting a single tick. So all UNT will need to do now is get 1 tick onto this point, and they will be able to take this round.
Yeah, so UTD had a little bit of a disadvantage there since UNT was able to, with the UNT's composition that they decided to choose. A very good call there for whoever made that, not going on the quad DPS, because that is what UTD started out to defend against.
Yeah, it looked like that was what they brought out, and that just will not work against a very heavily fortified Goats comp. And UNT will have almost double the time, so they will be able to...
have a little bit more time, take their time.
They will be able to switch it up if they need to, but that will have to be a very quick decision. Yes. They will probably be able to get a good 2 or 3 team fights out of this time right now.
Yeah, so they are going to start off here on Goats. I think that's a fairly safe choice so far, especially if you don't want to have to come back and change your composition up.
Yeah, definitely. Goats is very solid, and you can run it fairly effectively, and the ult charge that you can get off of it is very nice. So if they're able to get a good bit of damage going into this, and get a good, even get 1 pick even, a lot of Goats is just getting that 1 pick and then capitalizing on it. So if it's going to come down to who gets the first pick, but if UNT does get picked first, they're going to have to fall back fast so they don't stagger and give ult charge.
Yeah, Ultimate's not going to be too much of a worry here with the time remaining, but it's still a concern, always a concern.
Absolutely.
In Overwatch.
I would expect maybe 1 round of ults going off.
Yes, yeah, at the minimum. Unless yeah.
Oh, it's like a Bastion coming out on the side of UTD.
Very interesting. I don't know if UNT was prepared for this. They might have to back up and change. They are. UTD's Bastion comp, we can see that being a fairly solid pick, making them come back and having to switch. But now that they've switched with 1:19 remaining, they might be able to counter this.
Yeah, now they know what they're going up against. They definitely are able to get a good amount of picks, and now they have the same amount of time UTD has to get onto the point and get some good team fighting going. So it looks like their strategy is going to be let the Sombra go in,
yes,
and then get behind, get the hack, and
coming
then
up the stairs here.
I would get some Reinhardt pin on the Bastion or one person.
UTD transitioning onto the high ground above point. Very smart from UTD, but is it going to be enough? UNT on point. They just need 1 tick. UTD has to fall. Fox rocks on the Mei. Finds Zenyatta in the background, but he can't quite finish it off before he has to use his heal. UNT getting 2 picks there. 3. Fox rocks is going to fall, and that's going to be UNT taking Hollywood.
All right, that was very nice execution on both sides there. I really liked how UTD was able to, they realized what UNT was doing, they were able to move very fast, but in the end it wasn't enough. UNT was able to hold the point very well, get those kills that they needed, and just great synergy overall. And Nick Donnell's getting the play of the game here.
Yeah, UTD was able to rotate to have a fighting chance there at the end, but UTD still had to drop though, and that is the problem with the Bastion composition when you have just 1 tick that UNT needs remaining. Very hard for them to transition down, especially when you have that run.
Absolutely, yeah. That is one of the risks that you take running a Bastion, is if you're able to stabilize and stay there for a good amount of time, you can make the Bastion work extremely well. But if you have to move, that Bastion is just not nearly as effective. And
not enough mobility for UTD to stabilize there after UNT was able to get to the point. Great call for UNT to come around on the background there. So they weren't fighting right into the Bastion, which is where they are the strongest.
Absolutely, yeah. So that will be Hollywood taken by UNT. That will tie up the rounds at 1-1 as we move on to our next map here, which will be Volskaya Industries. Yeah,
this is going to be an interesting map for these two teams.
Absolutely.
Very close match last time that they played on Volskaya Industries. So both teams are going to have an idea of what the other team likes to run, and this is, I think we're in for some good Overwatch here.
Absolutely, I'm very excited to see what happens. The last time these two teams played on Volskaya Industries, they were able to force a Game 4 with a draw on this map. So it'll be interesting to see how each team responds to this. And it looks like UTD will be attacking first. So it will just be a matter of who's able to get more time. As we obviously know, that's just how Overwatch works.
Yeah. So the May did come out on Hollywood. We saw that from Fox Rocks. But it didn't seem like it got enough as much value as they expected. UNT was able to stabilize against it.
Yeah, definitely. It was a bit of a thorn in the side for UNT the last time that these two teams played. So it looks like UNT has been practicing a little bit more on how to counter the May, and it looks like their practice has paid off. And it looks like UNT running with a bit of an interesting comp here. We have Executor on the Hanzo, Fierce Surge on the Widowmaker, River Lucky on the Ashe, Nick Donnell's on the Orisa, Joe on the Lucio, and Captain Carlos on the Symmetra.
Yeah, so McDaniels is going to be able to be on the Rissa instead of the Hammond, which is what they've been running for quad DPS so far. But here in Volskaya Industries, having Captain Carlos on Symmetra, he might be switching here.
He might be, yes.
He is going to be switching. Just getting the Orisa up there to the top. But that is going to be a good starting position for UNT. See how well they can hold up here.
Absolutely. Yeah, getting the Orisa up there is definitely something that you need to do. With Orisa having the high ground, especially with the barriers, she can be very effective, especially in getting the holes.
Yeah, with this quad DPS, they're going to have a lot of corners covered, so UTD is going to have a very hard time trying to make any movement here in past the choke.
It looks like they were coming around. I saw the...
UTD coming around onto UNT's right side.
My guess is that they will be trying to get onto the point as fast as they can once they are all grouped up.
Yeah, so they're going to be running a dive composition here against
very heavy dive composition. Nick Donnell is going to be falling just a little bit here. I don't know if he'll be able to live out here, although he does get the healing from Joe.
Executor falls, but Loon's over-aggression might have cost him his life. It does. Winston is half for UTD. Very low. McDonnell's is going to be able to capitalize there on their over-aggression.
Yeah, no, I do believe that UTD does have a Pharah, although that is able to get picked up by Fierce Surge. That'll be something to watch as UNT deals with the Pharah.
Yeah, so UNT does have people who can shoot up there at the Pharah, but the Pharah is going to be able to get those quick picks if they catch UNT out of position. So it's going to have to be very tight play here from UNT.
Yeah, looks like UNT's falling to the back of the point there. I'm not sure if they are down a couple picks or not. I'm not sure who is returning to the point or not.
Yeah, it might not just they might not have had enough time to set up anywhere else. The dive is going to be very easy for them to get on McDaniels here. He might have enough support, though, to keep him up. Captain Carlos here in the back line of UTD, trying to find the Widowmaker. Fox Rocks does fall to Captain Carlos, and UNT is going to stabilize. Mercy did end up having to pop her ult on the side of UTD.
Getting hacked there, yeah. Very nice hacks coming out from Captain Carlos here. He's able to get a lot of the health packs, especially. Health packs are very critical in your Sombra, and also getting a hack on the Mercy as she ulted, killing that ridiculous amount of healing that she can do.
Yeah, so great use of holding on to their ults here from UNT. Captain Carlos here right behind UTD, 99% on his EMP. Detected by their Mercy. But this is going to be very interesting. If we can see a good EMP here, this could be a very good hold from UNT.
Yeah, I think
UTD starting their initiation.
Like that.
Captain Carlos realizes he needs to get a little bit closer, goes to his translocator, which is closer. Goes for the hack onto D.Va. Not able to use her DM, very low, and he's going to get the D-Mech onto Loon.
Yeah, hacking, especially a lot of the tanks, they rely so much on their abilities to do a lot of damage. So if you can hack a tank, you can really negate a lot of the damage that's going to put out.
Yeah, Captain Carlos dropping very low, having to use his translocator to get out of there. But that puts him right into the sights of Dorito, and he's going to have a little bit of a scrap here. Mercy falling on the side of UTD, and that's going to be a lack of healing for UTD.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if they pulled back a little bit here since they don't have any healing.
Captain Carlos still holding on to that ult, but it looks like everyone else on his team has popped. There's going to be the ult from Captain Carlos. Not going to find much but a Diva Meg.
Yeah, I'm not sure how UNT is going to be able to deal with this. They only have a minute left, as you heard there.
They have done an excellent job at killing time here from UNT, even if they do lose it here. But they have quite a few people still up. Joe's excellent positioning has kept him up so far, but the Tracer's going to find him and drop him so that Dorito can get the final picks onto him.
Yeah, and this first point usually falls fairly fast from what I've seen. So UNT able to keep to only 30 seconds.
Not a bad time bank that UNT's been able to stop here for UTD.
Yeah, just stalling just a little bit more. So it'll be a little bit less than 30 seconds left on the side of UTD. It'll be interesting to see if UNT keeps with this comp or if they switch it up.
They do have the ult, so they could if they wanted to, but it looks like McDaniels is going to go onto the Hammond. So an interesting...
He can swing around on that center point there, which can stall for time very effectively.
Still choosing to stick with the quad DPS. They were able to hold much longer than they were on the other points against UTD's dive. So possibly a little bit of learning coming here from UNT, able to keep them up.
Absolutely, yeah.
Here comes
only
the
having
engage.
4 minutes on this point is very, very nice on the side of UNT.
Oh, the Justice coming early from TPPC, but he drops immediately. Fiercer's getting out the 2 necessary picks that UNT needs to hold very early here. McDaniel showing a little bit of style points there against Toxic. River Lucky did pop the Bob as well. Don't know how much that had an effect on UNT's ability to hold there.
Yeah, Bob is definitely a good space keeper, since he is able to contest points and put out a lot of damage if you don't have a shield. So I think it was more of a, hey, stay back type thing, just to kind of ward them off. And Ashe is able to get her ult up fairly fast if you can get a lot of picks, and especially with the Pharah coming into play, I have a feeling that Ashe's ult will definitely be a big factor for UNT.
Yeah, if you can farm as Ashe, you can do a lot of damage with your ultimate.
Absolutely.
UTD is doing a good job of staying out of the line of sights of a lot of the DPS, playing those corners fairly tight so that they don't get caught out of position.
Yeah, UTD's definitely using the little nooks and crannies here on the sky to their advantage, staying out of the ways of the snipers here.
The engage from UTD is going to force Captain Carlos to use his translocator. Executor is going to find Toxic fairly early, but Captain Carlos is not able to get away from Foxrox's pulse bomb. That's pick for pick coming in this fight. McDaniel's dropping very low. Joe almost to his ult, but is going to have to retreat again. He does have res, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get it off on anyone. That's going to be UTD taking the first or the second point on Full Sky Industries.
Yeah, it looked like they had around 2 minutes left. Was that correct? We'll see here. So that's definitely not a small amount of time. Okay, 2:31. That's definitely a good amount of time, and that will definitely force an overtime if UNT is able to cap this.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We could be in for a long game if UNT is able to make both points here at the very end.
Yeah, last time we saw a fairly long game coming out. I would not be surprised to see a repeat of that, just because Volskaya is such a long game. You're able to cap these points both fairly easily on attack, and so it can lead to a lot of overtimes.
Yeah, so we can see that quite a bit happening already. UTD or UTD with that time bank, even though they only had 30 seconds leaving the first point. So let's see what UNT runs here for the attack. They chose to go on quad DPS for both points there on the defense for Volskaya.
All right, yeah, it looks like they will be sticking with Captain Carlos, who's still here on the Sombra for attack, but it looks like the rest of the team is on Goats, so it looks like the Sombra is going to be stepping in for the Goats. For the Diva on the Goats. I'm so excited. Yeah, and we still don't have a pick from Executor yet, but Fierce Surge is on the Brigida, River Lucky on the Zarya, McDaniels on the Reinhardt, Joe on the Lucio, and Captain Carlos on the Sombra. So I would not be surprised to see Executor coming out on maybe the...
Possibly a Hanzo, maybe.
Maybe a Hanzo, maybe Diva.
Okay, so a Diva. So they're going to be running Sombra Goats here for UNT.
Yeah, looks like Sombra's going to be replacing the Zenyatta, so they'll have less healing output, but just that bit more damage. So it'll be worth seeing if that's a worthwhile trade-off.
Yeah, so the Sombra pick is coming out for the third healer. Interesting, yes. Usually when you're running a Sombra Goats variation, you either choose the Diva or the Zarya in some cases even to replace, but it looks like
Executor switching over to a Hanzo now.
Executor over to the Hanzo, so they must have scouted something they didn't like to see, so they went to the quad DPS, so they are going to be running this to start off.
Yeah, it looks like UTD's hiding in that room back there, so that'll be a bit hard to get in with the quad DPS setup that they have. But if they're able to melt the shields down fairly quickly, or get somebody in behind to spin the Reinhardt around like we saw there, that will be a fairly effective hold there.
Yeah, UTD is just stuck in that room right now, not able to get much room. They catch Executor there by himself, but it's not not enough at all. UNT getting all the picks here to take first point very quickly. Executor
wow.
cleaning up with some very nice picks of his own.
Absolutely, yeah. Getting those 2 very nice headshots there. If I played like that, I wouldn't be stuck in gold.
Yeah, UNT giving that very early. So they're going to have about 2 minutes and 20 seconds extra that UT did not have while going on to the second
having
point.
almost 7 minutes to attack this point here. That's going to be a significant amount of time. And UNT's ults are going to be coming up fairly quickly here. And
yeah,
I don't think
UTD
is going to have a lot of them. They were not able to output a lot of damage or get any kills.
They were stuck in that room. They couldn't really get into the face of UNT, so they weren't able to get their ults up, or ult charge up. But Executor dropping quite low there, able to stack up, get the positioning that they needed. McDaniels finding another early pick onto Dorito, and McDaniels is just causing so much disruption. River Lucky able to get off his ult thanks to McDaniels. Excellent positioning there, and UNT capping with 6 minutes and 9 seconds left. Very big time bank there for UNT.
That was absolutely incredible play from UNT. They were able to utilize their ult so effectively there.
Very good execution, very good scouting on the side of UNT, recognizing that they needed to switch to the quad DPS to counter what UTD was running.
Yeah. Having that scouting from Captain Carlos really was effective there. They were able to really outplay UTD.
So we saw something that UTD actually hadn't done up until this point. We saw a 2-2-2 comp that was not dive. So they started with the D.Va Ryan, and then everything else was fairly classic, for lack of a better word. So
yeah.
We might see a little bit of change here on the side of UTD. It didn't seem to fare very well.
We might.
So UNT starting off on the defense here. Looks like they're going to be starting off on their quad DPS.
Quad DPS, and I'm guessing the Symmetra will teleport their Orisa up, and then Captain Carlos will be switching over to the Sombra like we saw earlier.
Yes, yeah.
So
very good use of abilities of heroes they don't want to play.
Yeah, definitely. Symmetra is definitely not somebody you would see a lot in these higher levels of play, just because there's a lot of counters to her, but it'd still be interesting to see her come out just a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, she is one of the heroes with the kits that are a lot harder to execute. So
yeah, definitely a lot harder to execute.
Get percentage with her.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see. Looks like there's going to be a similar, the same strategy that they saw, that we saw from UNT before. It'll be interesting to see if UTD pulls out the same strategy or if they pull out something different. Although it looks like they are running a quad DPS,
possibly a quad DPS composition. We can see the Hammond coming up here on the left side. McDaniel sees him. No secrecy there on the side of UTD.
Absolutely, yeah. See a Hammond, Lucio, Genji, Tracer, and Ana and Sombra.
Yeah, so it looks like they are going to be running triple DPS with 2 healers. It doesn't look like they want to fully commit to the quad DPS. That might come to bite them, but they are going to have the extra healing to stabilize. Doritos dropping very low here in the beginning, but they are going to be able to find River Lucky. That's going to be 1 pick for each team. Joe's going to be able to get River Lucky up, though, and that's going to be UTD there, stuck off to the side, while UNT in a very good position. McDaniel's able to stay and keep his position up here on the high ground. Genji dashes in on UTD, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to get much done.
Yeah, it looked like UTD was a bit split up there. I'm not sure if that was their plan to maybe have 2 different angles of attack, but it didn't work out if that was their plan. They were a bit too split up, and it looks like their healing was not able to be as effective as they thought it would. You only have a Lucio and an Ana, and that is not a lot of burst healing like you may be able to get with a Mercy or even a Moira.
Yeah, it didn't look like they could get their Ana into position. Executor getting an early pick on a TPPC, that's going to be just a few more seconds for UNT, but that's huge because they were able to have a slower time bank for UTD, so be just more time wasted for them.
Absolutely, and that'll be, they have less than a minute now to push on to this point. And it looks like ults may be coming online for UNT soon. Kind of coming online.
Possibly. It looks like if this fight extends a little bit long, we might be able to see some ults from UNT. Oh, the Hammond coming in, surprising McDaniels a bit. Not sure if he knew where they were. I'm not sure I knew where they were.
Yeah,
looks like they just came in from behind out of nowhere. 2 down for UTD, though. UNT just able to capitalize, even though they had the element on the surprise there on their side, UTD.
Yeah, UTD was very good about getting that element of surprise out. I'm not sure where they were coming from. I'm guessing they came around the side, maybe?
Yeah,
but they were able to be the silent assassins, but
doesn't seem like UTD
didn't
can
work out.
find an angle that they can get onto McDaniels that's able to stop him from keeping his position.
Absolutely. And then Arisa's damage, I think, is something that gets overlooked sometimes, but she is able to put out a good bit of damage.
Yeah, getting sticked from McDaniels, it's going to be dropping very low, but UNT does have the Mercy ult, so he is going to be able to keep him up. Executor finding his 2 picks. That's going to be very hard for UTD to get on a point, and they don't touch. That's going to be UNT full holding here on the end of Volskaya. So with their time bank, looks like they might just be needing 1 tick.
Yeah, I think they will only need 1 tick, and getting 1 tick in 6 minutes doesn't seem like that hard of a thing to do, but if you have a UTD can pull out a really good defense, it is not unwinnable.
Not unseen.
Definitely. It'll be interesting to see what type of comp UTD comes out with, though. I don't think they'll be coming out with the Bastion, since that did not work there on Hollywood in the same situation.
Yeah, we've seen them run the Bastion on Volskaya, so it is a possibility, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. What UNT has seemed very strong here on Volskaya.
Yeah.
Not sure who picked this map, but I would not be surprised if it was UNT, because they seem to be very coordinated and understanding what their goal is to overthrow the UTD.
Yeah, UNT seems to have a lot of synergy going on there, especially, like, I'm going to go Symmetra, they left the Orisa, and I'm going to go back for Sombra, and I'm going to scout Sombra, and I'm going to this pick here. I'm not sure if McDonald's will stay on the Bastion or not. That looks like a bit of a spawn of shenanigans type thing. I would not expect to see an attack Bastion.
Yeah, so right now we see a Lucio out, we see a Bastion out. These might be people that are switching, but
I would think so. Yeah, McDonald's going on to the Hammond now. I wouldn't expect to see an attack Bastion. But it looks like Joe might be sticking with the Lucio for now. Although it looks like he might have... No, looks like he's
maybe just a little bit of a boost coming out here. Mercy is going to come out from Joe, so...
Okay.
So that's just a little bit of early speed there.
I'm not sure where UTD looks like they're hiding up. Oh.
McDaniel's getting a small glimpse of UTD's Sombra. I'm guessing that is Loon.
On
so
Sombra. We saw him on here before.
2 picks for UTD. McDaniel's going to have to back up because he is hacked as well. Their main healer's down, so that's going to be a hard reset. UTD running quad DPS, actually, taking one out of the playbook here from UNT. They're running Dorito on the Orisa as well, and Mercy is the solo healer.
Exact same comp that UNT was running, so it'll be interesting to see if UNT has any insight onto what
UNT knows what works. They know what UTD has been running against them. Actually, scratch that. Yeah, no, actually,
dive comp, it looks like, yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to run the dive, try to get them split up, and see if they can get a few picks here early on.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of D.Va diving onto the sniper along with the Winston. Diving together, I think, would be the best strategy for this.
UNT rotating here around to the right. UTD probably knows where they're at, but Fear Surge getting very low, but Sombra's going to have to back out because McDaniels comes in. Nice peel for McDaniels to save his teammate there.
Yeah, very nice peel there. It looked like the enemy Sombra was low as well, so I don't think they'll be low anymore. But
those early picks that make it 6-5 is what UNT was able to capitalize on last time, so being able to stop that from UTD happening, huge here for UNT. Very good sign.
Absolutely. Looks like they're going to dive onto the Ashe.
They find the Mercy. She's very low. That's going to be their only healer down. Widow was very low as well, but it looked like she was able to get out. Fierce dropping on the side of UNT. And McDaniel's just dropping in, making some room here for his team. Just getting very low, but it's going to be Dorito, the one that's falling out of the main tanks.
Yeah, and it looks like UNT is going to be able to take this point here on Volskaya, winning it. Oh,
last bit of stall there at the end, but that's going to be it. UNT did take Volskaya. Fairly convincing victory coming out there. Very good usage of what team compositions they wanted to run against whatever UTD was running at the time.
Yeah, it looks like they had a lot of synergy coming out there, knowing what to play against this. These are comps that UTD pull out.
Yeah, showing some very smart play here from the side of UNT. McDaniels
getting the boot.
Showing here at the end, showing his mechanical skill.
Getting those nice Hammond boots off the edge there. Yeah, he was absolutely excellent in disturbing UTD there. I think he deserved to play the game for that alone.
Yeah, we're seeing some very good stats here up on the cards here. We got some good damage blocked on the side of UTD, but Joe's healing was just enough to keep that quad DPS meta, just to keep them alive.
Absolutely, yeah. So UNT does take Volskaya Industries, and that will put them up 2-1. I am not sure if we have another game after this. Okay, it is a best of 5, we are being told. So we will play until we have 3 wins on one side. So it will be just a matter of what map comes out next, what type of comps we see, and if UNT is able to keep this energy up that they have going, or if UTD is able to pull a little bit of a sweep.
Yeah, so we were able to see with that last attack kind of how this matchup has been going. UTD was running the Hammond-on attack, the triple DPS, excuse me, and they tried to come around here on the right side of Volskaya, and they got rotated out and just kept getting backed off, and UNT was able to keep their positioning, not too concerned about where they were running, forcing them all the way around to the other side and cleaned them up very nicely. That was probably UTD's best push there on their first attack.
Definitely. I think their the first attack there with especially, just what you were saying, that was a really good attack. And then it was interesting to see that they didn't pull out the type of Songbird diesel bombs that we saw in Hollywood. I believe. Was that Hollywood? So not actually a lot of ult usage there at the end. Not
either.
a lot.
There was a lot of it was just pure skill coming out from both sides. UNT on their attack though was able to scout what they needed to do and did actually end up finding a counter for quad DPS, which was the dive that UTD was running against them earlier. But it was just UTD couldn't execute it as well as UNT was able to. Yeah. I think UNT's one of their hidden specialties is going to be that quad DPS. And we will see if they keep continuing on that quad DPS as we move on to Dorado here. So this is just going to be a pure escort map, and it'll be interesting to see what type of comps we see. Goats might be able to work on attack since you do stay on the card a lot, and you have to bring the enemies to you when they're trying to stop it. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if UNT is able to run quad DPS on the defense here with the Orisa. It seems like UTD is having a fairly hard time dealing with that, so we might see that come out from UNT. We could also see a GOAT matchup after first point. That's fairly common. Demon very strong there on the second and third points of this map.
Absolutely, yeah. That third point is just a bit of a shake-up there. You have a bit more of the high ground that you can utilize there on the second point. Third point, I'm sorry. So it'll be interesting to see what type of comps we see. Looks like UTD will be attacking first, UNT on defense first, and it looks like they have a GOAT comp coming out. Yes. So they have...
Yeah, so UTD is going to be coming out here with the... Yeah,
it looks like they had a bit of a...
Okay,
Okay, we had a bit of a glitch there real quick. So, looks like UNT will be...
Yeah, a little bit of user error there.
Okay. So we are being told that we will be...
Yeah, so it looks like we might be taking a break
Taking a break here soon, which... I can see that. 5 games of Overwatch in a row, especially with this high level of play, can be kind of tiring, so everybody needs to recharge a little bit, get some water.
Yeah, letting them set up. We caught a little bit of a glimpse of what the teams were going to run there. Not quite sure if they're going to change it up after this. But from what we can tell, it looks like quad DPS will be coming back out again.
Yeah, I would guess quad DPS comp coming out from UNT would be our safest bet right now. But it does remain to be seen. It looks like we have a little bit, quad DPS coming out. Fierce Surge on the Tracer, which we have not seen yet.
Yeah, Fierce Surge on the Tracer, River Lucky back onto the Pharah. We saw a little bit of his Pharah on Lijiang Tower. Since then, he's been choosing to go onto other things, but now on this attack, going to be able to get a little bit of musical talent coming here from McDaniels.
Absolutely. And it looks like Joe is going to be switching over to the Mercy there. And McDonald's coming out with the Orisa. Yeah, that's a bit of an interesting pick.
Yeah, so the Orisa instead of the Hammond, this seems to be the one thing that they switch up here, whatever they feel on the quad DPS.
Looks like we have triple DPS now. Captain Carlos going on the Zenyatta.
Really? Okay, yeah.
That is a bit interesting.
River Lucky finds a great angle onto UTD here to start it off. Having to push that Zenyatta fairly far back and getting the pick onto Toxic from around the corner. Captain Carlos dropping as well, though. That's both Zenyatta's down for UTD and UNT. Yeah,
it looks like River Lucky's a bit separated from his team here, although he does have Joe healing, and so it'll be interesting to see.
Staying right out of the range of Loon. He's still able to fire down onto UTD. Loon getting very low. River Lucky having a hard time finishing it off, though. And that's going to be the ult coming out from River Lucky, and it's just too much. So much damage, so much ult percentage coming out. River Lucky was just right over them.
I didn't even see that he had his ult up that fast. That was under a minute he charged his ult.
River Lucky, one-man team here on the first attack of Dorado.
A little bit.
Yeah,
he was able to get that.
Very good
a
position.
lot of that damage at the first point there. I would love to see, just go back and see how much ult charge he just got off of that first 20 seconds alone.
UTD is going to have to adjust here for the Pharah.
They absolutely will. I would not be surprised to see maybe a Widow, McCree, Soldier, any anti-Pharah pick coming out.
So.
And it looks like UNT is able to push it up to the first point without any contesting from UTD. Pharah coming in very low here.
Yeah, River Lucky just doing a little bit of cleanup here against UTD. First point capped for UNT. This is going to be a very, very good map looking here so far for UNT.
Yeah, UNT's just able to really push this payload very far. And they, just a little bit under 5 minutes here, and they are able to just keep this payload rolling. Looks like they're staying on it.
Not much contesting here going on. Executor up with his ult. Fierce Surge a little bit low. And let's see what.
Barely dodging the Widow.
UTD running triple DPS with the Dorito on Orisa.
Looks like a bit of a mirror matchup here.
Yeah, so I think UTD might just want to try to just straight up try to outplay UNT with the mirror matchup. But Executor is going to be finding two, and that's going to be both healers down for UTD. Fierce Surge taking this Widow battle, and he's going to find it. Foxrocks is down. UNT is going to be cleaning up fairly easily on the second point as well.
Yeah, UTD was not able to dive onto Fierce Surge at all, which is a bit surprising. They, I'm not sure if they have anybody who can really dive onto him, but they needed to take care of him because he was just keep taking shots at him, and if you're not able to take care of that, you're going to get sniped in the head.
Yeah, UNT coming back, trying to get reset up. It looks like they're going to be having a little bit of composition
change. Over to a Goats comp here. Just throw a little wrench in UTD's plans. They're probably not expecting them to be pushing with a Goats comp, and if they're able to take them by surprise just a little bit here, that will be a lot of distance taken by UNT if they're able to catch UTD off guard.
Yeah, good time bank UNT's been able to get up here. On the side of ult percentages, it doesn't look like they're going to have anything because they did just switch over to the Goats composition.
Yeah.
Captain Carlos falling fairly early in this fight. UNT's going to be forced back a little bit. McDonough's falling as well. Extended scream from someone as well.
Yeah, it looks like UNT is going to fall back just a little bit here. UTD mirroring the Goats comp, although they do have Foxrocks on the Mei. So it'll be interesting to see if UNT does switch to counter the Mei a little bit.
Yeah, so Executor's going to be switching on the Pharah. That's probably what we're going to be seeing to try to get a little bit of positioning on this Mei, make sure she can't be exactly where she wants to be.
Absolutely. Yeah, using that little concussive blast will be especially effective on booping her maybe out of the way of the Reinhardt shield. So Mei is able to be picked off.
Executor getting quite a few picks, or getting quite a little bit of damage onto the side of UTD. Ryan dropping fairly low. Doritos, but the Transcendence is able to keep them up.
Yeah, that Transcendence, gonna see a lot of Transcendence healing coming out from the side of UTD.
Executor getting absolutely deleted by Loon. That's going to be a fall for UNT. Maywalt is coming up, and that's going to separate McDonald's from his team, but he is able to get up and around using the payload, and they're going to be backing up. Ooh, falling very low. UTD is going to come out to capitalize on that, and UNT is going to have to full retreat.
Yeah, they're going to be a bit staggered there, with McDonald's falling there.
Fierce Surge trying to get a boop there, seeing if he can make something out of them, overextending, punish them a little bit, but UTD is safe enough to back up. And yeah. Captain Carlos falling early once again.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it was. I think he might have gotten caught in the back there, so he will definitely have to be taxied out by Joe, with Big Joe staying back for him. You know, it's like River Lucky's just going to see whether he can get up a bit of energy.
Caught by a little bit of spam there, Captain Carlos, so UNT losing a little bit of time, having to reset. River Lucky, Executor, and Fierce Surge have their ults up. It looks like this is going to be a hard engage for the side of UNT. Counter grab comes out from River Lucky, and Executor is going to be able to follow it up with a double barrage. Toxic finding Executor, though, punishing him for getting that off. And McDaniels is going to fall, and so will Joe on the side of UNT.
Yeah, I think that Mei is going to be a definite problem for UNT, as we've seen the Mei wall especially.
River Lucky tries to drop Toxic, see if he can get a little bit of something going for UNT, but that's going to be UNT whole team falling.
Yeah, that's going to be a full team fall. And that was a very nice ult coming out from Executor there, but he was able to get, he was picked by Toxic.
Yeah, not able to follow up on that, but if he would have been able to stay alive, I believe that would have been a pretty good push from UNT. Getting a direct rocket onto Toxic, pushing him down fairly low. So far, no picks from either side.
Not from other side, although Loon is
Executor
very
a
high
little
energy.
out of position, tries to get punished by the Zarya, but it's not going to be enough to drop him. He's now cut off from his team, though, and he's going to have to be very careful. It looks like he's going to make it, and
There he
UNT is
goes.
rotating up to the top left of this map, right behind UTD. And a little bit of a switcheroo here. UNT looking like they're on the defense, holding these same kind of positions, which is very good for Executor. Farif very good at holding positions.
Yeah, it looks like the May Icicle catching Executor there as he gets his ult up once again.
Yeah, he can't find the healing he needs to get back up, so it's very hard for him to pick right now. Maywall coming up, separating UNT a little bit, and that's going to be McDaniels falling to the Maywall. But Foxbox is going to fall for that as well, and looks like UTD might be able to stabilize here.
Yeah, it looks like they might be able to, but if Executor decides to use his ult, he won't be able to get his ult off the time.
Yeah, Executor's going to hold on to his ult for the time being. Probably not going to see a switch here. We are going to see River Lucky and Fear Surge coming back with their ults as well, though. So we're going to have a good opportunity here for UNT. But damage coming out from UTD suggests that they are also going to have quite a bit of ultimates up as well.
They just used a bunch of them, so it'll be interesting to see what else they have. I think they will still have Earth Shatter.
Okay,
I don't
good.
think they've used Earth Shatter. And that's the only main ult I can think of besides Sound Barrier.
There's the grab coming out on the side of UNT. Dorito trying to keep his shield up, able to mitigate some of that damage, but UNT able to clean up very nicely. Those ultimates, what are you going to do? You know, when you've got the grab coming up from River Lucky and he gets almost everyone in it, UNT able to capitalize on that very nicely.
Absolutely, yeah. Now it'll be a bit of a scramble coming out from UTD here. They're going to need to get onto the payload very quickly. As, this is not a very short, not a very long point here, so it's going to be a very...
Zarya coming out first for the side of UTD. River Lucky in a good position, or excuse me, Executor in a good position, able to get onto the... Well, but Transcendence coming out from the side of UTD. Loon dropping fairly low, but it's going to be Fierce Surge who drops. That's going to be the Brig going down for UNT, but May coming down for UTD. That's going to be a 1-for-1 pick. The Transcendence coming out, which is going to be able to mitigate some of that shatter, but McDaniels falls anyway, and the Lucio ult coming on for the side of UNT, able to keep them up again. Scrappy battle here coming out so far.
Yeah, we have grab on point there, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Although Executor falls there, using his ult to the best of his ability.
Executor with one last
you can do
opportunity
at that
there
point.
to try to use his ult. It's not going to be enough. Doesn't get it off. UNT is not going to be able to get the third point here.
Very close
though. UTD, excuse me, is able to hold.
Very close on the side of UNT there. They got it almost to the end there, I want to say.
Yeah, Dorado can be a very punishing map, so
absolutely.
It's possible for UNT to get a hold before point 3 even starts, but good hold there from UTD.
Absolutely fantastic hold there from UTD. Yeah, using that May very effectively. They pulled that out at the last second, and it really worked for them.
Yeah, their ability to hold on point 3 is what made UNT have to use those ultimates to get past that choke, but that left UNT open to having no ultimates for the final battle, so UTD was able to stall with the respawn advantage and was able to hold.
Yeah, they definitely were able to stall a good bit there with that. Very quick respawn advantage.
Yes, yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what type of comps we see coming out now when UNT will be defending. And it's like a 4 DPS, like we have seen before, will be
so a quad DPS with the Hammond.
Yeah, be the comp of choice for UNT here. It'll be interesting to see where they set up.
Yeah, traditionally I would expect more of an Orisa instead of a Hammond, but McDaniel's showing his capability on Hammond this entire game.
Absolutely, yeah.
Able to create the space he needs and the disruption he needs for his teams to get the picks that quad DPS requires.
It'll be interesting to see if he starts swinging from the payload itself, because I've seen that happen just a little bit. So if he can utilize momentum he can get off of the payload, maybe do a choke point, that could definitely be something to watch out for. But it looks like he's separated from the rest of the team.
Fair Surge setting up a little bit of a trap, just zoning precaution.
Yeah, it looks like UNT is a bit scattered here. It looks like they're going to wait for UTD to push the payload up around the corner here.
Yeah, trying to hold these multiple corners, and Loon's going to be dropping early. That's Captain Carlos getting the headshot. He's not able to use his translocator to get out of there. Looks like UTD is going to be running an Orisa, possibly a triple DPS. Yeah, it looks like they're going to be running a quad DPS with the solo Mercy.
Yeah, so, that sniper is going to be a big worry for River Lucky there.
Yeah, similar compositions coming out from each team, except McDaniels is on the Hammond again.
Oh, River Lucky falling very low.
Yeah, good use of the dynamite there for
UTD, yeah. Looks like TP TPPC gets res.
They are able to get the res. That's going to be UNT down by 1, having to back up just a little bit. Still firing some poke onto UTD.
Absolutely, yeah. Looks like River Lucky's not able to get a lot of damage in. He's able to melt those shields a good bit, but damage is not coming out like it was last game.
Yeah, River Lucky has been able to have these corners and had the positioning in recent matchups, but it looks like this time he's finding it hard to position himself in a place that he can dump damage onto UTD. I might expect a switch coming out here from UNT if this point falls.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if River Lucky does switch off, just because it is so hard to get the far angles that you need right now.
Yeah, that's going to be 2 down for UNT, but they are going to get the res onto Captain Carlos, and that's going to give them a fighting chance. But no, Foxrocks is going to win the Widow battle and also drop Executor as well. Transcendence coming out from UNT, a little bit of a stall tactic. Doesn't look like it's going to be able to hold completely though.
Yeah,
that's going to be both of them falling.
McDonald's will both fall there. And that will be the point for UTD with 440 remaining.
It's possibly an ultimate you could have saved. Maybe we'll be seeing its change though. That could explain why. We saw the ultimate coming out. It doesn't look like
they'll change. UNT does not have a lot of ults up right now, so that'll be something to keep watching as this map continues.
Yeah, that could show detrimental here in a little bit, especially when UTD is able to use theirs because of all the damage they've been doing so far.
Yeah, definitely.
UNT trying to set up all these corners that Quad DPS is good at maintaining.
Mm-hmm.
He finds the angle right behind.
It looks like he is.
Getting a very early pick onto Foxrock. Very nice. But the Mercy ult is going to let her come in there and try to put a little bit of damage on a Fierce Surge, and she is going to get the pick. So that's going to be... Oh, but UNT answers back with 2 picks of their own. McDaniel's getting right into their backline, and that's going to be UNT cleaning up.
Yeah, that'll be a very hard reset on the side of UTD. They're not able to stick onto the payload as much as they would want to.
The disruption that Quad DPS, that UNT has been able to show on the Quad DPS is just keeping UTD from stabilizing and playing the way they want to play.
Absolutely, yeah, especially with that Hammond. Hammond is just so good at disrupting everything. He's pile driving, the sweeping, just so nice.
Brissa setting up on Cart, the Widow popping her head out as well. River Lucky finding a very good dynamite, well placed. Putting a little bit of damage on, just a little bit of poke coming out from both sides so far. No one's failed so far, and you can see that Executor finding the pick on Toxic. River Lucky falling very low. Widow trying to come up here to capitalize, but no, Foxrocks used the dynamite to finish up onto Foxrocks. And the Pharah trying to step up on River Lucky. It doesn't look like she's going to be able to find it, but Loon is. That's going to be River Lucky falling, but it's not going to be enough here for UTD to capitalize and push the K-load any further.
Yeah, using that res to get River Lucky up so they don't have to wait for him to come back is a very nice little move there. You don't want to have to wait for your teammates to come back, especially when you don't have that respawn advantage.
Yeah, so they're going to be able to keep their excellent positioning here because of that res. And we're probably even going to have res back up here for the side of Joe. Yeah, 10 seconds remaining on the res, so not much wasted on the side of UNT either.
Yeah, it's always important to know your res timing and timing it correctly. I've never been able to do it, which is why I don't play Mercy a lot, but res timing is so critical.
Yeah, being able to utilize her small kit is important for Mercy.
Oh, yeah.
Fierce Surge finding himself in a battle here. Finding a few picks onto the Mercy, but it's not going to be enough to fall her. Oh, but Captain Carlos is going to be able to find it. Executor also getting a pick of his own. Fierce Surge falling to the TPPC, but UNT is going to be able to clean up.
Yeah, and seeing that res come out again, so it looks like Joe's timing his res pretty well. Right at the end of the team fight, and his res will probably be back up in the top end of the next one.
Very clean hold from here from UNT, dropping about 1 a fight, but Joe's being able to get that res onto her. Easy hold so far on point 2.
Definitely. Fierce here just trying to get that little bit of damage there, get that ult charge up just a little bit faster.
Yeah, absolutely, considering that UTD has already gotten their Widow ult up. Fierce Surge a little bit farther behind, but... So UTD does have the advantage of sights right now. And there we go, UNT. It's going to be an even fight in terms of scouting. Sombra is visible. And there comes the EMP and the Barrage and Bob out for UTD. They're dropping everything they have trying to get this fight. But can they even get through it? It's going to be the hack onto the UTD Sombra. Fierce Surge able to clean it up. And UNT still able to hold despite the amount of ults that they were able to fight. And Fierce Surge cleaning up very nicely, getting a few style points there onto Foxrocks.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I would not be surprised if UTD comes out onto a dive comp just to deal with Fierce Search. He's being so oppressive with his Widowmaker right now.
Absolutely right, because
and it looks like they come out with a D.Va just to try to combat him just a little bit, because he is getting these headshots like nobody's business.
Yeah, so UTD, even though they had all their ultimates up, still not able to get rid of UNT's defense. I think a dive composition might have utilized them if they had switched to it a little bit earlier, just to switch things up. A nice headshot there for Fierce to start off his fight. Orissa's going to drop early thanks to Executor, and there's no more Orisa ult for them either.
Yeah, Orisa ult can definitely be useful when you're fighting on this last point with that extra damage boost. Not sure who's really on the point right now. Oh, that looks like...
The EMP coming out for UNT. McDaniel's able to clean up TPPC very nicely, dropping onto the Orisa and the Fire D.Va. And there comes the ult out for McDaniel's as well. And that's going to be a quick cleanup from UNT here on point 2. And it looks like they're going to be taking Dorado.
Yeah, it looks like UNT will be able to take Dorado with that nice barrage of bolts right at the end there. That will be UNT up 3-1 in this series.
And in this best of 5 matchup, I believe that will be UNT taking the series, if I'm not mistaken.
I do believe so. And we see McDaniel have to play the game again, as he has been such a critical player today.
Yeah, this will be that final fight that we just saw. Good ultimate usage there. 2 seconds left. Not much worry about saving it or anything like that. They had already cleaned up very nicely. Just a very excellent hold.
Absolutely.
You can see right there, 4,000 Transcendence healing coming up from Captain Carlos. That's half of his healing for the entire match. Very good use of his ultimate there. Executor as well with the damage. He was able to, on the first attack for UNT, just come out and just wail onto UTD, getting his ult in about a minute.
Under a minute. That was just a really good positioning on his part for the first point there. Couldn't ask for anything better, and he was able to get that charge up so fast, and that was partially able. I think that was really a key for UNT pushing it as far as they did for that first point there. And that will be the end of the game. UNT will take that 3-1, and they will be advancing, I do believe, in this playoff qualifier series that we have right now. I'm not quite sure how the bracket system works at this point, but I know that UNT has won, so they will not be kicked out of it.
Right. Yeah, so even though I'm not sure how the brackets are totally set up, it is single elimination right now. So if UNT had not won this game, this series would not be continuing. So UNT able to fight another day because of that win.
Absolutely.
So,
that was a great win on the side of UNT. They were able to pretty much counter everything that UTD threw at them with the May, the quad DPS, goats, dive.
Yeah, they seem to have Volskaya Industries locked down very nicely. They knew what they wanted to play on attack and defense. They knew what they wanted to run against UTD. And then on Dorado, when they came out, had a little bit of a time adjusting, but with the damage output that they were putting out, it didn't really matter. UTD was not able to stabilize fast enough to stop UNT.
Yeah, it was just a matter of UNT just, I don't necessarily want to say outplaying, but they were able to get a lot of the counters that they needed.
Yeah, very nice picks, very good counters. The individual matchups that we saw, UNT was getting the better edge of those on Dorado as well.
Definitely, yeah. Especially in the mirror matches, UNT was able to execute those just a bit better than UTD was able to. And ult usage for UNT was especially good. They were not being crazy aggressive with their ults, and they were able to save them for when they needed them, especially like very critical fight times, stuff like that. So,
some very good stuff coming out from Captain Carlos's EMPs there at the very end on that quad DPS hold.
Yes.
McDaniel's also showing very good mechanical skill, being able to stay up with no shield and no support tank to help him out, and only one healer. So
absolutely. Yeah, McDaniel's definitely gets the play of the game for tonight. He was just so good at disrupting UTD's entire composition, really, getting those pile drives and sweeping in, booping them off the ledges a couple times like we saw.
So much disruption.
Generally being just a thorn in the side, and that's all you need to do is be a thorn in the side and get a lot of damage, get those mines out. And
just enough to keep people away from the Orisa shield, just enough to keep them in the line of sights of UNT, who had all the different corners setting up with that quad DPS meta. So very good stuff we saw from UNT.
Absolutely, yeah. I would love to see more of that quad DPS coming out, maybe throwing in just more characters, because we saw the double sniper meta, but they could easily be switched out for anything else, and the Pharah, definitely a good pick. I'd love to see that continue.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for tuning in for this playoff match. And we'll do an interview here in a few minutes. Take a quick break to get that set up, but we will be right back shortly.
So I have Executor here. He was able to play some of the D.Va, some of the Pharah here for UNT. So coming into the match here on Lijiang Tower, first of all, what were y'all expecting? What did y'all think y'all wanted to run to start off?
Well, we were gonna do quad DPS because they like to, as far as we could tell, play Mei.
Yeah.
So that we thought it was a decent counter.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, y'all's quad DPS seem to be very strong. Y'all seem to be able to have very good coordination. Even with the one healer, y'all were able to stay up, keep y'all's lives alive. On Volskaya Industries, whenever UTD was attacking their second time and y'all rotated them out, what did y'all do to keep them out of that positioning and keep McDaniels in his correct spot?
Just pocket him because he's supposed to be the bait.
Right. Okay.
So long as the DPS just rotate, can like counter rotate them, keep him in the center. That's basically the plan.
Yeah, good rotating. Yeah. On Hollywood, we saw a little bit of scrappy play there in the beginning. It didn't seem like after UTD capped the payload, it seemed like both teams were having issues staying alive. We were seeing pick for pick. What was going through y'all's mind there? What did y'all think? Like, what did y'all need to do to reset?
I think we just need to just focus more. I'm trying to remember exactly.
I believe y'all switched to goats after that. Both teams ended up switching to a goats variation.
Are you talking about like round 3?
Yeah. But yeah, so just very good coordination overall. Y'all seem to have a very good understanding of quad DPS, and I believe UTD's attack on that was trying to go dive, and on Volskaya we saw y'all actually switch to the dive to counter their quad DPS as well. So did y'all have a good understanding of what y'all needed to run against that since y'all run it yourselves?
I would say so because it's pretty easy to blow up someone whenever they're diving. That's quad DPS.
Yeah.
As soon as like the Winston or D.Va lands, just shoot them.
Yeah. Yeah. So y'all were able to keep y'all's good positioning there and then make sure y'all were able to keep the match against UNT. But yeah, so thank you for joining me for the interview. We appreciated the game. It was very good to Overwatch, really fun to watch. UTD put up a good match. Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah, thank you for joining in. This has been Executor. My name is Alos, and thank you.